What is your goal as an artist?
Um, in the grand scheme of things, or in
Yeah.
short term? Okay.
Well, do a big picture, and then maybe give me a 2 year plan or a 5 year plan.
Well, I think since like a young person,
A young jit.
a young what?
A jit?
Jit.
Yeah, a young child.
Jet. Spell that.
JIT.
Jet.
Yeah.
Yep. Young jet, not jet, because
No,
that's
no,
Australian.
not a jet.
I think the biggest thing, like, I would always say to people, like, I'm going to be the next Katy Perry, I'm going to be the big pop star. And that's always been my big picture. Like, that can't change, like, no matter how hard I try. Um, and I guess as I get older, the more realistic you become. But I still try and like stay that delusional, like childlike mindset that the big picture is I want to be a big pop star. I want to sing to sold out arenas, and that's the big thing. But I think with small stepping stones, I've kind of just started going, the biggest goal of mine right now is just to be more out there and less scared of judgment and be able to put myself out there on the platforms that we have access to these days without going, oh, I hope people don't get offended or weirded out by what I do. So yeah, just trying to be confident in the space that I'm in so that I'm confident for that big space one day.
Well, why do you think that this is one of your goals? What part of you makes that want to be your goal?
Um, I don't. When people ask me like what's my why, I literally just bring it back again to that 5-year-old version of myself because she didn't have a why. It was just that was what she wanted to do, and I guess now she's my why. But I never really had one. I just was like, I want to sing, and I wasn't really good at singing when I was a kid either. But I just knew that I loved performing and making people dance and
Well, singing is only half of the part, really.
yeah,
Like it's more of like one aspect to the whole thing. So, and I'd say there's a lot of great artists who don't start off as the best singers,
yeah,
but they've got great stage presence, or they've got a great personality,
yeah.
or they've just got a really good artistic ear. Um, yeah, so it's only one aspect, and I think there's, well, I guess for the music that you make, is more like sort of pop and stuff,
Yeah.
where it is you need to be like the whole package. You can't just be a good singer.
Yeah.
And I think you really do. That's one thing that I really respect about you is you really put yourself out there. Like you're always posting. Every time I fucking open Instagram, it's a new
There's
reel
always
from
a
you.
fucking post from me.
And then I always put a funny comment under it.
No, I appreciate that. That's like when I get people's support and like kind of, I guess, validation, I do really get, that's kind of one of my motivational drivers I've realized is a bit of a pat on the back and going, yeah, you're going down the right path.
Yeah, that's sometimes all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like most of the time, I have to be that person for myself if there is no one doing that. And I think that's also something that I have to remember when I am trying to achieve all these big things. Not everyone's going to stand next to you and go, good job,
Yeah.
because they've got their own shit that they're trying to do.
Well, you got to be your biggest fan because if you don't believe in yourself, no one will believe in yourself more than you do.
Yep,
So it's
exactly.
good that you need to have that self-confidence.
Yeah.
How do you think you overcome that fear of being, oh, I'm on the internet and people are judging me?
How I get over it is by, I'm quite a emotional thinker, and so when I start thinking like that, it becomes more of like a fear of judgment and going, "Ooh," and then I just switch to my other side of my brain and go, who actually cares? Like literally, who cares? Those videos of people that make it like, oh, why do you not care what people say? And then it zooms out and it's like the world because we're so small. Like literally nothing matters. Yeah, like that, and that's when I start. If I can just rein myself back in and go, okay, stop overthinking because no one actually cares about you.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's the same at the gym. It's like
Yeah.
you go to the gym and you're like, everyone's judging me. Nobody even looks at you
No
at
one
the gym.
cares.
Nobody's thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves and thinking, oh, everyone's judging me. And everyone's thinking at the same time, everyone's judging me.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, like, oh, people are just doing their own thing.
Yeah. And I think I'm pretty like good at it because when I have to post and stuff, like not many people can do.
Well, you don't have to post. I feel like you want to post. That's the difference.
I do like posting.
Yeah.
But the amount I've done it recently, it's becoming like, oh my gosh. But
you're promoting a gig.
throughout release season, I have to be on it,
Yeah.
no matter how much I hate social media.
And you've started a challenge.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. How's that going?
Honestly, the 2 reels that I posted to get Olivia Dean's attention has gotten more views than my usual reels.
Well, there you go.
So something I feel like could be brewing. And I'm going to sing one of her songs at the gig, so I'll get lots of content out of that song.
Yeah, didn't your friend also do some sort of challenge where they were trying to get heard by a certain person and then it actually worked?
Vlogging every day to R&V, like getting booked for a festival.
Or was it not Fred again?
Oh no, I don't even know how this happened, but Messi, DJ in Wellington, I think she just got noticed by him. I don't know if she actually even, maybe there was a competition to DJ with him, and then she ended up playing one of the biggest crowds in Perth with him, and like just overnight. So cool.
But did it come from posting or?
I don't think so.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it was I actually don't know.
So wait, who was your friend who was posting and then something happened because of that?
Yeah, Broda Beats posted, he said, vlogging every day until I get booked for R&V. So he literally vlogged every day of his life. And he ended up obviously hating doing that, but it got him now, like, he'll be playing R&B every year, I reckon, for this foreseeable future. Because he's built a relationship with them.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of producers who post, like, posting a beat every day until X artist uses it. And then not a lot of the time, but it works.
Yeah, it does.
So, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a really good strategy. And I know that, well, even a lot of the songs we've worked on, Olivia Dean has been the reference.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, even just her songwriting. Like, the sound is obviously kind of different. But I think even, like, when I started writing songs when I was, like, 8, 10, like, with my guitar, that was kind of what I thought I'd be writing songs like forever, just, like, me and my guitar, like, acoustic. Obviously, that's very much changed. But, yeah, I think that vibe, just something about her music is, like, so just healing. I love it.
Yeah, I think, well, me and my friend Mike were listening to it in the car the other day. And he just loves the lyricism. He thinks the lyrics are so good and just really good at painting a picture.
Yeah. She always uses, what's the word? Analogy? Wait.
Yeah, like a metaphor.
Metaphors, always in her lyrics.
Yeah,
like,
but they're understandable.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you use those metaphors, they can be really hard to, they only mean something to you. As in, like, they're so kind of contextualized to your, like, understanding that... When you write it, nobody else understands what you're writing about. But I feel like when she does it, she does it in a way that everyone will still understand the metaphor. Yeah. Which I think is really smart. Yeah, super smart. I think writing lyrics is really hard. I feel like every time I've tried to write lyrics, it's been so too complicated. And like it doesn't flow in a way that makes a nice melody. It's just kind of like I'm kind of like writing an essay. It's not really like writing a song, and I'm like,
yeah, maybe writing's not for you.
Yeah.
It shouldn't feel like that.
Yeah, I personally gave it a go. I gave it a go, and I'm like, you know what, this is not really for me. And I thought it was something I wanted to develop, but it's not really. Yeah. I gave it a go. I'm like, you know what, it's not really calling to me right now. So maybe.
And maybe it will. Yeah, you never know. That's the thing with creative things. They can just like. I remember I used to hate journaling, and I really wanted to every day, and now it's literally a habit of mine. Like, I can't not journal each day, so it just becomes like a thing that, I don't know, you didn't like, and then all of a sudden you do. But songwriting is so, like, once you reach flow state, it's the craziest thing. You're like, oh.
Well, the way that you write songs is really interesting because you kind of just give us a voice memo with no chords or anything, and you've just written like a melody, and I'm like, how do you do that? It's so random.
I don't know.
It's really interesting.
I've never met any, like, I know people probably do it, but I've never met another singer, like a singer-songwriter that I literally flesh out a full song.
Yeah, and it's usually like in key as well. Like it makes sense. Like it's
That's
not
crazy.
it's not just like random. And here's this thing and here's another thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole song, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I think I wrote songs when I was younger. That's kind of where it all started for me. Like I would perform and like sing like Katy Perry songs when I was real young, and then I got to the point where I got my first guitar and I would start writing, and I always knew how to play like I was better at guitar then than I am now, so I'd always write songs with guitar then, but now for some reason I don't need to pick up the guitar. I just start going la 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 la.
That's really cool. I think it's really unique, and maybe even makes for more interesting music, because I think it really gives us so much creative freedom as well as the producers to make something like that is with everybody's ideas, which I think is really cool, that you can relinquish control on your creative, not even if it's relinquishing control, but you can share the creative flow with your producers, because I think each to their own. Some artists are really particular about how their song will sound, and I think 99% of the time it makes for a worse song.
Okay.
Because it's just like there's just less ideas. There's less room for other people's ideas, and I think it's not arrogant because it's a creative vision, but I think they're missing out on what the song could really sound like, because everyone's just trying to get to the best version of the song, and I think what you do is you let people actually try. And I think it's a really important thing that you do, that you should continue to do regardless of who you work with, because it makes it really fun to work with you, because we're like, okay, our ideas are valued, and I hope we make it feel like your ideas are valued too, but it's just like we're an actual team. It's not just like we're just making your demo, which I feel like is just not really. It just doesn't make for great music. No. Like it's a difference. That's like when you really look at all the really great songs. There's always a really great team or a really great relationship there that exists to make the song happen.
Yeah, definitely. It's something I've wanted for so long, because I've worked with producers, and it is very much like I've always been open to the producer's ideas, because ultimately that's not where my expertise lie. Like I want to know what like you guys would think would sound good. Where does the melody go for you? Because it might go in a different direction and your guys might be a better idea. So that's why I'm always open. But other people I've worked with, it's always been kind of quite separate. Like they'll work on it and then send a demo back to me. I'm like, oh yeah. And then I kind of got in that people-pleasing mode, and I was just really young. And I'd just be like, yeah, sounds good. We'll just keep going with that. Whereas when we work together, even though it's remote, like we get to go, like, does that sound good? Or is this flowing nicely? Usually I'm just sitting there and I'm just enjoying everything that's happening. But like I have that ability to go, oh, maybe we should do this there. And I've never been able to work in a team environment like that. And it's so funny because you guys are literally not in the country. So it's the most collaborative group I've ever worked with my music, and it just has always felt just so easy and natural.
Why do you think people are so scared to relinquish some of their control on their creative process?
I don't know about other people, but for me, I don't, like, it's that whole thing where I want to make sure that everyone is, having that, I guess, freedom. And when I would just kind of let things go, I think it's just because I felt bad. Like, I was like, oh, they've just put in so much work. I don't want to go, no, I don't like that direction, because that just feels mean. So, I don't know. I guess it's me trying not to be rude to their creative vision.
Yeah, I don't think, at least in the way that I've seen you work, I don't think you're like letting people have an idea just because you feel bad. I feel like you're able to surrender in a way that is productive.
Oh yeah.
I think it's really cool, and it's personally something I'm working on in terms of just relinquishing control, just surrendering. I think you save your energy for the things that actually matter.
Okay.
Whereas
I like hearing that.
not really, yeah, well, I've been reading this book and it's really good in the way that it's called The Power of Now, and it's all about just being in the present moment and like reframing how you view your existence or your consciousness so that you're not always just thinking about the past or the future and just being in the now. I think part of that, at least in what we're talking about, is just allowing yourself to surrender to the moment of what's happening and understanding that you've like set yourself up with the right people for decisions to be made that will ultimately make the song great, but also won't sacrifice your energy. Like something that I've recently realized in that sense, like, is I'm really actively trying to just relinquish my need for control on anything, or like not anything, but things that aren't aligned with my goals. Like, for example, the other day, I realized that collecting royalties from independent artists, like personally, just myself, is not something I'm going to do anymore, because I feel like it comes down to that need for control again. And it's like, why do I? It's like, oh, and then like when you get into like a deal with an artist and they're like, oh, I don't want to give you this, I don't want to give you that, and then it just like takes all this energy, and you're like, man, like realistically, what I realized is at the start I was like, well, I think first of all, I think producers are definitely entitled to royalties. That's not what I'm trying to say. The point that I'm making is, I felt that I needed control over that situation, and when people didn't align with the way that I thought was fair, it really drained my energy. And what I'm realizing now is that most independent artists don't even make that much money from streaming. So why are we taking from those people? And in my opinion, I think I want to give the people that I'm working with the best chance of succeeding. So if that means that I don't take royalties from them, then that, like, I think that's fair. And it's like a lot of our producers like, oh, what if they get the sync song and it's on the show, and then you miss out on like a $40,000 check. I'm like, well, good on them. I feel like I don't think you should be scared of that happening, because like you want the person you're working with to succeed. So if that happens, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because you still produce the song and like you'll still get your name out there.
Yeah.
I just think there's more productive ways where I can put my energy in that don't require me to have this control over the situation, where it will align with my goals better. And yeah, so something like collecting royalties from independent artists, it's like, I just don't want to put my energy there anymore, because it's just tiring. And it's just, I don't think it makes sense for me. And I think I see that with you and your process, because you just like kind of let the boys do their thing, and when you think something needs to happen, then you say it, but like you just allow yourself to surrender to the moment. And I think it really does, like, I think it helps from my outside opinion with your inner peace, in like just being happy in the moment, just like, yeah, this is great, and or like this could, maybe let's try this. And I think it's really cool. I think, and I see with artists who aren't able to do that, they're quite like, I don't think they can enjoy the moment in the same way. Like they're just kind of, and I saw that in myself. I'm like sitting in there, and sometimes I'm like, all right, let's just get to the next session, or like, let's get to the end of the song. But I don't think that's a good way to think.
No, but I think people are going to feel like that sometimes. Like some days you're just like, oh, like, I'm done with this. And that, it is annoying when that does happen, but ultimately, you're in your brain, you're getting a job done, but it's important to remember, but there is no like time limit on this. Like, this is a creative thing where we're trying to just make as good as it can be, and there's no like, oh, it needs to be done, or you have a time limit. But
well, there is, well, in the book that I'm reading, there is no moment that exists except the current moment. So I'm like, damn. And then so the book tries to get you to think outside of, he calls it psychological time, where it's your identity is tied to the past or the future circumstance. Whereas he's trying to make you understand that anything that is happening is only happening now. So as we're talking right now, we could be thinking, oh, I have to pay that bill or whatever, and that causes
don't say that.
and that causes fear. But really, what he's trying to say, in this current moment, there's nothing to worry about because there's only this current moment. And he was like, if you ask a tree what time it is, they'll be like, well, the time is now.
Yeah.
Instead of the time is whatever 5 p.m. I was like, wow, that's awesome. And I think that I'm really enjoying this book because I think a lot of the people that I've read in the past kind of think in a different way, in a more grind way.
Yeah.
And I like this way of thinking. It really challenges my old identity.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately will make, and I see this in you quite a lot in the way that you can kind of be present, and not need to really like micromanage the sessions in the way that kind of, I just don't think it makes for great music as well, because like the people that you work with, I'm like, I don't want to work with someone who's like constantly micromanaging.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's really awesome, and I think maybe it comes down to also you not being afraid as well. Like I think, and when I see you posting all the time, I see that as well, which is really good. And so I guess the question that I'm kind of asking is, how do you develop that mindset of just kind of being?
It's funny because I don't know if you remember when we first started working together and we hopped on that call with Mum.
Yeah.
And we were all just like chatting, and she was, I don't actually remember the conversation, but
I just thought it was for a website.
Oh, that call?
Yeah, because I only met Knowles at that point.
Yeah. There was just a few conversations, and this happens a lot because my mum knows me so well, obviously, and so does my sister, and something that they always say to me is that, like, I am a control freak, and I'm not able to let things go, and I'm very, like, high energy and blah, blah, blah. And it's so funny because this year I've been told by everyone I've met, like when I went traveling, all the friends that I met over there were like, wow, you're so like go with the flow, chill. Yeah. And then now you saying this, like I can just, let things be and deal with things as they come. And I think that's something that I've just learnt to do maybe literally this year, because all these new people in my life are saying that can do that. Or maybe that it's the environment that I'm in, because I think if I'm working with people who I can trust, or if I'm, I don't know, just making friends overseas, I'm just more on like holiday mode. But I think I can be a mixture. I have that, I guess it can kind of help sometimes having a mixture of like it's all good, like right now everything's fine, you don't need to worry about anything that's maybe gonna happen, just focus on what's happening right now. But then I also have that mixture of, but we still need to be working hard for future. So I just have a mixture. Yeah. And sometimes one takes over the other, and it can be overwhelming if it's the stressful side of the brain. But I don't know, I'm not always, just...
Yeah, I think there's a spectrum, but I'd say that I notice it more so than... Like, I wouldn't really say that I've been in a situation with you where I'm like, wow, she's really trying to control the situation.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, then I've worked on all my personal goals this year then.
But... Yeah, I guess. Well, how would you give advice to someone to do that though? What was different between last year and this year?
Well, it was when close people kind of started. I kind of started seeing them stress out when I would try and be in control, and so I felt like, okay, it's affecting people around me. And I know for a fact it affects me because I stress myself out for no reason. So I think I just started having to be aware when I start feeling that overwhelming, like, oh, what's happening? I need to have control of this. Or I, just unsure of what you just are never actually thinking clearly. So whenever I start feeling like that, I just chill out for a second and actually be aware of what's making me feel like that. Yeah. And usually it's something that I can't control. Yeah. So I get controlling over things that are fully out of my power, so I have to just drop it. And I think that's where I started, just being aware first and foremost when I start feeling like that, and then learning to drop it.
Yeah, so you're kind of like surrendering in a productive way, not surrendering in a oh, like I just give up.
Yeah.
But you're just allowing the situation to happen, realizing that it's out of your control and you can only do what you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it is something I can control, I'm like, all right, well, do I have the mental capacity to do that right now? Probably not, because I'm stressing out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe I will leave it on the back burner today. Because, again, there's no rush to do anything. And if you're going to rush yourself, it's not going to be done maybe the way that it's meant to be done.
Yeah, I'm going to butcher this, but this famous sort of entrepreneur says that desire is a contract that you make with yourself to willingly be unhappy until you reach that goal. So,
well, you did that really well.
I don't think that's exactly how he says it, but I think what your point is very valid to me as well, because I make these goals for myself, but I think the time horizon for the goal is not long enough, and then that's where the suffering happens, because you make, oh, okay, in a year I want to accomplish this, and it's like a year and then I haven't accomplished that. But if I just delayed the time horizon to be a bit longer, say like 3 or 5 years, then I would still reach the goal. It would take a little bit longer, but I'd still have my peace at the same time.
Yeah, I used to set goals, and that's something we did when we first started working together. We were looking at artist goals for me, and I set them the way I used to do, like really just big, out there, no really specific times on it or ways of measuring it, and I was just like never reaching goals, and I did that for years and years and years, and then finally I've actually gone and you actually need to put time into goals and be like, where can I make this really specific so that you can actually feel that sense of achievement when it comes along, like making them more stepping stones than big goals that you
or just more tangible, or like measuring it on the input of it rather than the output. Not being tied to that goal as your identity is, I think, a big thing that I'm realizing. Like, having a goal is good for the motivation, but I'm realizing that making it my identity and delaying my happiness until I reach the goal is really unproductive, rather than just having my identity as who I am currently. Because I never get to appreciate the moment. I really haven't struggled to appreciate the moment this year, because I've tied my identity to the goals that we've set, rather than the things that we're doing, or like the things that I do. And I think that's really affected my inner peace. But I'd say now I'm really aware of it, and I think the book that has really helped me understand it, because similar to what you do is you become aware, but the writer says that when you have a moment like that, you can actually witness yourself having that thought. So it's like having a new sort of plane of consciousness beyond your just psychological time thing. Like, something in the past happened and I've tied my identity to that, and that's making me suffer. And then when you have that moment, then you can actually witness yourself having that emotion, and it puts you, it removes you from being identified with that thought for who you are, but rather just like an emotion that happens. Because when you have an emotion, it actually, you feel it in your body, and it's so hard to like, oh my God, this sucks. But then you can kind of like witness yourself having the emotion, or you can, what he does, he says you can just like break your stream of consciousness by just all of a sudden just really focusing on that chair, for example, and then it breaks your stream of consciousness, and then you like can reset. And I'm like, wow,
that's a lot of techniques in like yoga and stuff. Becoming the observer is what they always say. And yoga's really helped me this year, because when you were saying that you've been struggling this year with, making your goals your identity, and you're like, we have to get this done before I can be peaceful and happy. I'm completely the same, especially this year. Like when I went traveling, it was the first kind of thing that made me so happy, as much as music does, like reaching that just like love of something. And so when I came back, I fully fell into like mild depression, and I was just like, this is horrible. I need to keep traveling. I need to get this done with music, or else I'm not going to be happy. And then that makes that whole thing of being present so hard because
Well, yeah, because you're tying your identity to the past or the future, rather than the present moment.
And when you just look around you, like, how good? Like, who cares if I'm not in Spain right now? Like, it's just, I think, like, making sure that you're just being grateful for everything that you have and, becoming an observer of yourself in that moment as well, if you're feeling like...
Yeah.
What the hell's happening?
Well, yeah, like being the witness.
Yeah.
Being a witness or like an observer and like stepping back from that and not identifying with that thought pattern. And it's really, like, I've only started reading this book very recently, but I feel like it's really helped me to just reposition when I feel
It does sound
anxious.
a lot different to your other ones.
Yeah, because I've read other like philosophy, spiritual books, and I think there's this one guy. His name's Nietzsche. I feel like they don't, like, this author and Nietzsche don't agree, because I think Nietzsche writes about becoming, and I think by writing about becoming, like, so he writes about this thing called the Übermensch, which is the overman, and his argument of like the evolution of humans, like beyond, like what is next for the human species. And I think part of what he writes about is becoming. So when you're the overman, you can't actually ever become the overman, that next man, but rather you're always striving to become the next man. And I think, at least for me, that made me identify with my current person is not the person who I want to be, and I don't think that was productive, because and honestly, he writes a lot about having what is it, contempt, or is it content? No, contempt being like you are disliking, or like, so he says that it's okay to have contempt for yourself.
Oh, okay.
So meaning, like, it's okay to not like yourself.
Right.
And that's sort of the writing that he would write about. And I think he's very interesting because he has influenced so many people, great people. But a lot of people criticize Nietzsche because all the stuff he wrote about, he never even came close to achieving. Because when he died of insanity or something. He went insane. And then he died.
What
I'm not sure. Well, he was insane, and then he died of some illness. But he died broke. He died broke. He had no family. He was like living in some random place. Like, I don't think his life, in the way that he writes in his philosophy, was anything near what he wrote. He kind of claimed everyone else should strive for.
Okay, yeah.
So I think it's interesting, and compared to this other book where he's kind of writing of just being in the moment and sort of not tying your identity to that, not sort of having contempt for yourself. I hope I'm using the right word. It has been a really like good mindset shift. And I think it's not like I will reject all of the previous things I've read about, but I think I have like a more nuanced understanding of how I can use both of the ideas to get to where I'm trying to go. Because I think it was a really kind of lonely and not fun way of thinking.
No.
Yeah, and also you have people like Elon Musk, and I read his autobiography, and I watched a few of his interviews. I'm like, oh, Elon Musk. I'm not like a fanboy by any means, but I'm just interested by people who achieve things on that level.
Yeah.
Like, what does it take to be that?
How would you do that?
Yeah, and he often speaks about how he's not happy and it's not something that's important to him. Like, and even Mr. Beast, like, he says that being happy is not important to him, and he's like, that is not a concern to him. That matters.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like,
what?
Yeah, and
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast said that, and I'm like, wow. And then and then Elon says, like, you wouldn't want to be me, because he's in court every day. Someone's trying to sue him. His company's exploding.
So true.
And it's like, you wouldn't want to trade places with me. You like the benefit of having all of this wealth is not worth the lifestyle. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. And I kind of thought that I wanted to have like a really great business or something, right?
Yeah.
But I think what I realize now is, from reading, I also read Steve Jobs' autobiography, and similar sort of patterns, right? I think they do something so great, or arguably great, that they have to sacrifice themselves in order to achieve that goal.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah.
I want a great life.
Yeah, same.
And if that means you have a good business or whatever you plan on doing, then I'll take that trade, because I wouldn't want to trade my life for his life. So how could I deserve his result if I don't want to trade the lifestyle?
Yeah.
So, and I think that's something I didn't realize until this year.
Yeah.
Which has also helped me like just have a better sense of peace, and more like who do I want my role models to be? Because then I find people like this guy Eckhart Tolle, who's written this book, or this other guy Naval Ravikant, or that 4-Hour Workweek book that I recommended you, like someone like that, where they're kind of like they've achieved inner peace and freedom, but they've got a great life, and they don't have the best businesses, or like they're not known necessarily just for that. Yeah. But I think they're really smart.
Yeah.
I think that's more important to me.
And
yeah.
now they don't have to work as hard.
Yeah, well, yeah, they said I think their goals come from having freedom rather than creating something for the greater good.
Yeah.
And maybe that's selfish, but I think that's...
Yeah, well, that's kind of... Yeah, music's a hard one, because I remember this producer I worked with, he was like, what's your why? Why do you want to make music? What's in it for you? And I remember saying just straight off the bat, like, I want to help people, like, with my music, because music helps me and it helps many people. And then he was like, he fully was just like, I think that's bullshit.
Really?
And I was like, oh, okay, why? And he was like, well, yeah, of course you want to help people. That's going to be great when you feel that, but you've already done that, because people listen to your music, whether it's a handful of people, and that's helped them. But why are you still going? What's your big goal? And it is that selfish thing of just having to go, oh, well, yeah, I want to have a life of freedom, and I want to sing out to sold out arenas and do the big thing. And I really stopped myself from saying that, because it sounds selfish and it sounds like entitled. But if that's my why, it's...
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think I respect that you can admit that, because a lot of people can't admit that because it doesn't feel like virtuous. Like... I wouldn't say that my goal is to make money, but I met some guy, and like we were in a group, and the goal was to, like, develop our businesses and whatever. But I think ultimately I didn't want to be in a group with him because I think our goals were too different. But I think I really respected it in the moment, because his goal was to just make money.
Right.
And I was like,
okay.
I respect that, because I think a lot of people wouldn't be able to say that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And I'm like, damn, okay, cool. Because, well, I think part of my why is to make money, but partly so I can understand if I actually need money or not. Because I think personally, something I've realized is it's okay to be like, I don't need money, but I think you can't actually make that decision unless you've had money. Or it's like, I don't want fame. How do you know that unless you've been famous?
Yeah.
Because you need to, at least in my opinion, you need to have been there first to make the decision. Because I read about Buddha, and he was a prince before he became enlightened. Right. So he had everything to realize he didn't want anything.
Yeah.
But that only happened because he had everything.
Wow.
So I'm like, true. And I think, part of me feels like I don't need any money, but part of me feels like I need money. So I feel like I need to be in that position first to make the decision to see if I actually need money or not, rather than being like, oh, I don't need money. And I think most people are just trying to virtue signal.
Trying what?
Virtue signal, like, oh, I don't need this, I don't need that. Or like,
yeah. Well, obviously money's great, and when you have it, it's great. For me, like, I've literally never, just even growing up, money was never like a driver for anyone in my family. And so when I meet people who are motivated by money, I'm like, wow, that's so interesting. And when you grow up, like, become an adult, you're like, well, I kind of do need money to do the things I want to do. Yeah. And that's the annoying thing, because I'm not driven by money, like, it's not really the first thing on my mind. Yeah. When I make decisions and invest in myself as an artist and things like that, I'm like, shit, like, that's a lot of money and
Yeah,
effort
I
I'm
need money
putting.
to do this.
Yeah, it's actually the most horrible chain cycle, and I'm only really realizing it this year. Like, I've been so, blessed to have such supportive parents. Like,
Yeah.
I left school really early, and I, was working part-time and stuff, and I'd fund what I needed to fund, but, I always had parents, like mum and dad, to support that if I needed it, but the fact that, they've helped me and I've also helped myself, the amount of money and people that it takes to actually do something is, in the music industry, is crazy.
Yeah, and I think what you're doing in terms of indigo and stuff is a great solution to that problem.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to rely, I think most independent artists think that they can make their living from streaming, which I don't think is possible.
Unless you're Justin Bieber, like, seriously.
Well, okay, so this is another reason why I don't want to take royalties from independent artists. And like personally, I think that royalties don't make sense as an asset to me. Because the more people that go on a streaming platform, the less money you get from streaming. So why would you want to make your retirement plan an asset that inherently gets worse over time? And when I realized that, I was like, this is a waste of my energy.
Yeah.
Like, to me, what's more important is my relationship with you as the artist. And not that this is a problem between us, but if that was something to come out like, oh, I actually want more ownership, or I want to renegotiate my split. In the past, I'd have been like, oh, that would have been a big energy sap.
Right.
And I'm like, man, that's such a like, oh my God, and this and that. But now I'm like, yeah, fuck that. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't even want your royalties because it's not worth the energy.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think your mindset around, even when, I don't know, you, like, obviously you're having a mindset change around that stuff, which is great. But even when you maybe thought that royalties and things like that were important and you put your energy towards that, I think you were still doing everything, like, with the perfect intent. Like, the way that you prioritize the relationship with the artist that you're working with, I think that's so much more beneficial to both parties. Like, that keeps you, that builds reputation for your business, essentially.
Well, I personally think that what I realize is, how can I claim to say that the artist-producer relationship is the most important thing to me if I'm taking the independent artist royalties? Like, we're not taking them, but like, I'm getting a distribution of the revenue split. I think it doesn't make sense to me in so many ways. Like, from the relationship standpoint, like, if I really wanted the person I work with to succeed, why would I take that when I don't need it? And from an economic point of view, it doesn't make sense for me to like put my energy into an asset that is not going to return it as well as like doing like, I don't know, shares or like crypto or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would rather just take the upfront fee that I get from working with someone and put that into a more productive thing where it doesn't cause tension between my relationship with the person I want to work with, and it gives the person I'm working with the best chance to succeed off the back end of that as well. So, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I think
You'd
that...
literally get like 50 cents.
Yeah.
Off it as well.
It's just like, why are we arguing over $1 right now? Like, this is not worth our relationship to argue about. And it just kind of happens. I just like, because I do all the business stuff. I'm just the messenger. So, and I'm like, that's where I feel like the energy sap comes from, because I'm like, man, I don't even know if I care about this, but this is just the role that I have. So now I feel like I've just relinquished my need for control over that. I still think producers are entitled to their royalties, I'll still say the same thing. I'm just not participating in it anymore, because I think there's more productive ways to create income in the creative space that isn't necessarily tied to the creative process itself, like what you're doing with Indigo. I think, like, and what we've been chatting about over the past few weeks in terms of like doing workshops and doing other things where there's more money in it, it's more meaningful. So why don't you like talk about what you're kind of thinking about at the moment, like what you're doing, because I think that's a way better way to think as a creative than trying to bank on getting streaming as your income.
Yeah, well, I think I've always had that, if you go and like go to YouTube videos and go, things I should be doing as an independent artist to succeed, something everyone will always say is think of yourself as a business and brand yourself like that and make sure that you've got that down packed. And I've always had that mindset because of mum, who's a successful business owner. And so I am looking at doing Indigo as a educational kind of platform, I guess, and running workshops, hopefully countrywide, to independent artists, literally like me, but maybe a bit younger, maybe just starting out and not knowing what the hell to do. So doing those things where you can go and find it on YouTube, like branding yourself and social media strategies, but I want to create a community where it's untouched in New Zealand at the moment, and they will get that opportunity to discuss with one another, maybe collaborate on
Build a
few
community,
things.
yeah,
Exactly.
build friends.
Yeah.
But and you're partnering with the local councils in that area.
Yeah,
So
so-
that is the important thing I want you to talk about,
Right.
because the person you're actually working with is not necessarily, in terms of who's paying you, is not the artist.
No,
but it's
no one can do that.
yeah.
I done a bit of research in New Zealand. It's called the Creative Community Scheme, and they give out, honestly, about $1 million each council a year. So, well, that's the biggest one.
Like for
Council.
that for that program.
For just people apply to run whatever work. It could literally be a group of old people knitting in a community centre. Like, they need money for that. Okay, here you go. So I would come forward to them and apply for cost towards a venue, cost towards my time, creating the resources and things and teaching them. And that's really all the money that would be needed. And each council in New Zealand has a budget, and they give around like 50 projects, or maybe over 50.
In that budget period. Yeah. Well, I think that's a really important distinction, because you're no longer like depending on independent artists who most of the time aren't very good at managing their money to pay you.
Yeah.
Rather getting paid by the government, who need to spend their budget. And well, as Mark's driven me around Wellington, and there's so much roadworks going on. Like, why is there so many roadworks going on? Oh, it's part of that time of the budget where they actually need to do stuff with it.
Yeah.
They need to spend their budget before the next election happens.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's in the government's nature to spend their money.
Yeah.
Whereas when you work with independent artists, it's kind of in their nature to save their money.
Yeah.
So
And they're not actually sure what they should be spending it on.
Yeah, and-
I'm still figuring that out.
they don't actually know
Yeah.
like what things they need.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, when I started out, my main thing was, right, I need to put a song out. I didn't need to do that. I should have been just working on my branding, my self as a person and as an artist. Like, figure out why am I actually doing this, write some songs, and just, I don't know, just be an artist rather than, releasing and doing all that. Because I did that as soon as I left school, and then that's money.
I still think you did the right thing, because if you are an artist, don't have any music out, and you want to play somewhere, or you want to do things, and it's like, all right, well, send me the songs you have, and it's like, well, I don't have any songs. So I still think you did the right thing.
Yeah. I think it's funny, though, that I always wanted to be Charis, like, since I grew up. Like, because mum and dad would tell me, oh, you were going to be called Charis. And I was like, oh, why didn't I get called that? And it always just stayed in my brain that that's like an alter ego of mine. And so when I was a young person, I was like, okay, well, when I release music, I'm going to call myself Charis. My whole family was like, yeah, sweet. And then when I got to that day of releasing music, I put it under Grace Clark. And I always am like, why the hell did I do that? Because only this year I changed it. And that's been...
Do you think that part of you wasn't 100% confident on the music that you were putting out yet?
Yeah, that's probably it, yeah. I just didn't really, the first song was not fully written by me. The people I was working with helped me write it, which was cool. Like, it was a good learning thing for me, but I ultimately feel more proud of something when it's like fully from my thoughts and my feelings.
From your experience.
Yeah. It feels more authentic, and people who get help writing, that's totally fine, but like, and sometimes I do need help writing, but I don't know, when it was with people I didn't really know on just a Zoom call, I was like, this doesn't feel like my song. And so I guess putting it under Grace Clark was like, yeah, just for now. I always thought, like, with those songs I put out under Grace Clark, I was like, yeah, this is just for now. Like, I always had that mindset, so I always knew I was going to change it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but then again, I think you still did the right thing because you had that period of like figuring out what you actually want and like how you actually like working. Yeah. Because it's similar to if you go on ChatGPT and you get it to write you an essay, you don't really feel any ownership over what you've written because you didn't write it. Yeah. So, but yeah, you're just sort of in that initial experimentation phase of what you're trying to create as an artist and who you want to be. So I think just having that start I think the most important thing is that you started and you actually put music out there. Yeah. Instead of, because imagine like if I came across your page and you had no music and I'm like, well, I'm just not, why would I reach out to you if you don't have any music?
I think the song that you referred to me to say something was To My Friend as well, just the piano and me singing. Like that's my favourite song I did under Grace Clark.
Yeah, well, it probably feels the most real to you in terms of what you're trying to convey, like what experiences you're trying to write about and like the emotion that people are supposed to feel. Yeah. Or what you feel. Yeah. But ultimately, I think just starting is really the most important thing you can do. And yeah, and I think it comes down to like that fear of getting rejected and getting judged and every judgment in general. I think judgment, what I realize is it's the biggest thing that prevents you from doing anything. Just the idea of judgment in general. Because what I realize is a lot of the things where my energy is kind of drained in a day is when I judge other people, like subconsciously. Like you kind of look at other people and you judge them for living their life in a way you wouldn't choose to live their life. Yeah. And then I just catch myself doing that. I'm like, wow, this is just making me angry. Like why am I so judgmental?
It's like road rage.
Yeah.
Road rage. When someone gets mad at me for like, oopsie daisy, I did something wrong, I'll take accountability. Yeah. And then I can see them through the window like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. What? Yeah. I'm a stranger and you're about to drive past me and never see me again. Why do you care that much? Yeah. But yeah, as humans, we judge each other. Yeah. There's no doubt about that we just naturally do that. But yeah, you're so right. When it becomes like something that's affecting you, you actually just need to be like, oh.
Yeah. I catch myself doing it. I wouldn't really say that I identify with that. It's kind of just a thought that happens where you judge someone. And I see my mum do it all the time. I think because she's getting on the older side now and she'll like see someone who isn't fit. Yeah. She's like, oh, they're really unfit. I'm like, Mum.
Parents are like that though. I'm like, oh my God.
And then I'd be like, wow, she's so judgmental. And then I'm like walking around and I do the exact same thing. I'm like, wow, I'm no better. And I realized, I just wrote about it the other day because it just kind of really started affecting me. I'm like, wow, it's really just judgment in general that is the main thing that one of the main things that affect your like ability to take action or feel any peace of any sort. Because whether you're judging yourself or you're judging other people, it's a reason why you're just not going to do the thing. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, and I bring it back to you because I think that maybe you probably think it, but you just don't allow that to.
There's just no time to think about that stuff anymore. Like it's really been this year that I've found progress in that. Like I hated posting for any song that I was releasing, but this one I've just gone in for it. I'm like, you know what? It's a good song, and if the right people get a hold of it, then I'm gonna be so happy. And if I know for a fact I've got old high school friends that are still following me and following me to judge me. Like I know for a fact, and I'm like, cool, what are you guys doing? Nothing. Yeah,
they're literally spending their time judging other people for living your life in a way that they choose not to live it.
With a uni degree that they're not using.
Yeah, which is just such a waste of time, and it's just kind of sad. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna be like that. I don't think I'm like that, but I just catch myself feeling like that, and it really just prevents me from just being able to just live in the moment when I'm judging other people when I'm walking around. And that's why I like walking around the city as an NPC. I feel like that's when I'm the most present.
I was about to say, I feel like if I was to just see you in public, I wouldn't think you're judging anyone. You have such a just, I guess, peaceful face, maybe.
Ah, sweet.
You're just like... I just don't think you're ever having a bad intent on anyone.
Yeah, I think, well, sometimes when I'm really stressed, I just have angry thoughts. But I don't realize now that I don't have to identify with them. But I just would say, well, you know, like when bad things happen, some people just get anxious and some people get angry. I feel like I get angry. Mm-hmm. Like that's the more easy emotion for me to understand. Mm-hmm. Is just to get annoyed and just get frustrated. But yeah, I don't really... Well, I realize now I don't have to identify with that.
Yeah, but it's okay. That's the thing though. Like I don't know, we're told to be like, oh, you have to be thinking positively and making sure everything's good and everything's great. But shit is going to feel like shit sometimes, and you have to just sit and actually feel that. Yeah. Because...
Yeah, you have to understand that moment. Yeah. And I think part of the reason why I wanted to be an NPC and walk around just like be a bot, literally be a bot, is because I felt this like judgment. I'm like, man, I just feel like I walk around and I judge people and I judge myself. And I'm like, man, I just want to be a bot. Like bots literally don't think. Yeah. They are like Villager in Minecraft is literally the most present thing in the world, because they just walk around and like there's nothing, they don't think about anything except the current moment. Yeah. And I think that is super freeing.
I think that's such a good activity, and I should like do that, because there's so many times we get caught up in the day, like I've got to get this done, I've got to get this done, I've got to get this done. So there should be some days where you just go, I'm going to just be, well, not even an NPC, just I'm going to be a human. Yeah. Like, I'm literally a human.
Yeah, well, for me, it's just the way that it's fun NPC's for me to think about. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm just a bot.
I'm an NPC today.
Yeah, I'm just literally being a bot, giving side quests.
But ultimately, that's literally just being a human. Yeah. And what we were meant to do. Yeah. Just live. Yeah. And stop, like, just try and, like, take in what the world actually is, rather than, like, head down, I've got to get this done, and stress yourself out.
Yeah, I hope that the funny ways that I just can interpret it in my mind, but I think hopefully part of me just allows other people to see that and be like, all right, just don't take it so seriously. Because I think I'm someone who takes things seriously. Same. But I don't want to take it too seriously, because there's a level, and it's like I don't want to hang out with someone who's like just too serious. Yeah, it's just not fun.
I don't think, actually we've both just sat here and gone, we're serious people. We are, because I think we take the serious things serious, but we're able to go, well, hold on, like, not everything's... I can think of so many people that just are always like, just crack a joke, just laugh, just smile. Yeah, just smile. And they stress me out. I'm like, remember, like, if you don't get what you need, if you don't tick off your to-do list, it's all good. Like, I don't know, just little things people get so worked up about. You don't need to take everything so serious.
I can respect people who do it, but I just think would be so... Well, I guess it gives some people like a lot of meaning, but I don't think it works for me. Because I was listening to the guy who founded Telegram speak on a podcast.
The app?
Yeah, he founded this guy. Okay. So it's quite an insane story, because Telegram is only run by a team of 30 people. And they all work remotely at home. Whoa. And it's got a $30 billion valuation. And yeah, most of it's just like automation, and he owns 100% of it, but he only takes $1 salary from Telegram, because he made all his money from Bitcoin back in like 2013 or whatever. Right. But he's like an anime character, because he does 300 push-ups every day, 300 squats every day. He goes on like...
That sounds like my dad.
Yeah, he goes on like a 4-hour swim or whatever, and he goes to the gym, and then and then he also has Telegram. But
so he just works out every day?
But pretty much, and it's a really important thing to him. And I went on his Instagram, because I hadn't really looked into him that much, and he's just like, he's shredded.
Right.
He doesn't do any drugs. He doesn't take any pills. He doesn't have any sugar. He doesn't drink alcohol. Like, super stoic. But part of me is like, that's too serious. I'm like,
you need to chill out.
I'm like,
Eat a cake.
go smoke weed or something. I don't know. I feel.
Yeah, that would be a good start, actually.
Yeah, I don't know, but I can respect it. I admire it, and part of me is like, I want a level of that, but not that level, because but I think at that point it's like, that's so serious. I'm like, bro, like, I hope he actually enjoys life.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping that he enjoys all those things that he's doing.
I think he does.
Yeah.
I think that's what gives him meaning.
Yeah, because the people that get into a lifestyle because they want to look a certain way or be perceived a certain way, I'm like, how freaking tiring is that?
Yeah, that's sad.
Holy
shit. That's just sad.
And you get in those mindsets like, oh, maybe I do need to but at the end of the day, like, people cut out what they enjoy, and I'm like, I'm not cutting out the things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
In life.
There's moderation, because I can't just eat pizza every day.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would do.
Really?
Yeah, I love pizza. Well, I love junk food.
I don't know if you'd want pizza every day.
Well, I had pizza 4 days in a row in the week leading up to coming to New Zealand, because I was kind of already in holiday mode, and I just kind of just ordered pizza, or like we were going out to dinner with
fresh pizza each day.
Yeah, like we were going to hang out with someone for dinner, and it just happened to be pizza. I'm like, all right, well, this is the 4th day in a row of pizza, and then I realized actually I don't want to eat pizza every day.
Yeah.
Because I felt like ugh.
Yeah. Well, and just the same thing like when I meal prep, I've got the same thing I'm eating for dinner today. I'm like, it's yum, but it's like.
But there is moments. So I'd say throughout the week, on a non-holiday mode week, I just eat the same thing at lunch and dinner.
Yeah. A can of tuna.
Well, that's like a snack, and I don't have it as much at the moment.
How many grams of protein?
Well, at the moment, I'm not really like doing a good.
How many grams of protein in tuna?
In that big one?
Yeah.
No, there's like almost. It's a crazy amount. I think it's like almost 100 grams or something.
Shit.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like a lot. But yeah, at the moment, I'm not really concerned about that. But like maybe when I get back and I want to. Another thing I realized being on this trip is that running, or like just being super physical, is really important to me.
Yeah.
Because this year, I'd say I've been really unhealthy, like compared to how it would have been in past years. Like, I'd still say I'm healthy, but like last year I'd go on like a 20K run, and then I'd go to the gym in the same day.
That's crazy.
Or like I'd go on like a 35K run, and then I'd go to a rave and not drink, and then like get like 50,000 steps in a day or something.
That's cool.
See,
that's good balance. I like that.
In that year I didn't even drink at all, and I'd say that completely cutting out something is kind of a sign of weakness as well.
Really?
Yeah, because like surely you can just moderate yourself.
That's what honestly, this topic I could freaking talk about, because I did 3 months sober this year.
Yeah.
And my family has a running problem with alcoholism, and that's why I, was like, oh, maybe I should see if I can actually do that. Yeah. And I guess proving to myself, like, oh yeah, I can fully cut it out, great. But that's where it gets complicated, because I'm like, why can't I just be smarter with it? And after those 3 months, though, I am able to do that, though.
I actually just said that knowing that, well, I know, like, completely cutting out something, it's like, well, that's kind of why. So I agree with myself, and I also kind of disagree with myself, because if I wanted to eat really healthy, if I buy a chocolate bar or whatever, like ice cream, I'm gonna eat that if it's in the fridge. Yeah. So in a sense, what I've just said is just surely you can have moderation, but I know for a fact that if I bought a pizza and put it in the fridge when I'm trying to, like, I don't know, get to a certain body fat percentage, I would eat that pizza. Yeah. So I'm not really, I guess we're kind of working through the thought process right now. But in some degree, I feel like maybe if it's over a certain time period, because, well, I stopped drinking, I'd stopped doing anything for a whole entire year. In 2024, I didn't drink or do anything, because I felt like when I drank, when I went out, it's because I couldn't cope with reality. So I would just drink to, like, feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like that about myself. So I just decided not to drink. Yeah. And I wanted to see if I could do it for a whole year. Mm. And I did. But then part of me realized, I'm like, well, even though it's really bad for you, I feel like this extreme level of cutting it out is also really isolating, and I don't need to be this strict about it. So maybe over like a longer time period is when it matters, where you need to be able to moderate. But maybe in a shorter time frame, it's like, oh, I need to like lose some weight or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't put a fucking pizza in your fridge. Or at least for me, don't put an ice cream in your fridge because you're going to eat it.
I don't know how people... There are so many households who have, like, treats in their house. Like a pantry shelf with treats.
Yeah. Well,
If I'm buying treats, I'm eating it all that day.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm keeping a block of chocolate in my pantry.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I can't have that shit here.
I guess maybe, I don't know if that makes sense, but I guess it's over the time horizon then when moderation becomes important. Because say in that week you need to lose some weight, then you should actually just not eat anything or buy anything that is going to not align with what your goal is at the moment. But over the long period, it's like, oh, I don't drink anymore, or like I don't smoke weed anymore, or whatever the thing is. I don't know, maybe at that point you should be able to somewhat be able to moderate it instead of completely cut it out.
I think that's the tricky part. So, yeah, moderation.
Yeah, but I guess maybe the timeline, I don't know. This is a new thought that I'm having, because I realize what I said kind of contradicts with what I also believe.
Well, I get it. I think if you're not like with alcohol, if you're not a freaking raging alcoholic, obviously you just need to quit alcohol. Like, people just do need to go sober full time.
Yeah.
But the people that, like, for me, it's not that I'm like an angry drunk or whatever. But there are times where I'm like, I don't need to be drinking that much. There should be some way I can, like, just in moderation. And doing those 3 months sober made me realize that it's not an important, like, aspect of my life. So I am able to just be like, oh no, I don't need to have a drink. Like, I went to quiz night, did not have a drink, which is like last year I would have been smacking back like 10 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
True.
Not 10. Not on a Wednesday.
I get the point.
Yeah,
I get the point. Yeah, so I guess going back to my original point is what I realized on this trip the other day doing that run, because I probably can count on my hand how many times I've run this year, which is not that much, and I'm like unfit cardio wise. That like I was struggling to do like a 3K run like just before I came here, and then Mark is literally 60 years old, and he is literally way fitter than me, and like we would go on a run. I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty unfit. It's like, how far do you want to go? I'm like to him, how far do you want to go? He's like, I'll do 8Ks. I'm like, and then I realized, I'm like, all right, fuck, I'm just gonna do the 8Ks as well. And so did Lily, and Lily's like already fitter than me. But and then I was like, during that run, I was like, this is kind of like a physical meditation, because I had no music or anything, and they were running way faster than me. I was running at my own pace. But I did it, and I was like, well, I already knew I could do it, because I literally would do like a 8K run like it was nothing, like a year ago, or not even a year ago, less than a year ago. And now the thought of doing 8Ks was scary at the time. But as I was doing it, I was like, man, no, this is a non-negotiable for me next year. Like, I'm running like most days or every day, because I felt so good after it.
It feels so good after.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I felt so present. I'm like, I'm so glad that I did that, because it was like I was meditating, but I was also running at the same time. So it was like double whammy. Yeah. And this year I've been like, sometimes I won't even go outside of our house in that day. I would go insane. And I do go insane. Yeah. Or like, and then I go to the gym. Yeah, and then I'd go to the gym, and it's literally across the road. So I'd take like 5 steps to go to the gym. True. So it's like that's like kind of like the bad part about it. Yeah. It's because like, and we work at home, so I can like wake up and start working straight away, which I do, which is, I think, really productive, but also not really great for my like inner peace. You should get up and do yoga first thing. Well, what I'm going to do when I get back is get up and just go for a run. Oh, yeah. Instead of just like getting up and... Because you don't even need that time. It's just like, you just go. Yeah. And then you run back home. Like, running's so accessible. Yeah, exactly. It's free, and I think it's really good, and it's something I've realized that needs to be a big part of my life. That was a big part of my life, and has like I've just sort of put on the back seat because I felt like I didn't have enough time, which is a lie. I do have enough time.
Yeah.
It's like when people say they don't have 10 minutes to meditate, which I say to myself all the time. It's like you literally do.
You do.
You literally do have 10 minutes, and then the saying goes, if you can't meditate for 10 minutes a day, you need to meditate for 30. Because the idea being that everyone has more than 30 minutes a day to just sit down and do nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of things that I'm being reminded of rather than being taught, because these are all the things that I would do anyway, but I just forgot about it because we've been so focused on goals.
Yeah.
And having our identity tied to the goal.
See, even moderation and things like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just think I don't need to tie my identity to the goals that I'm trying to get, because it's just made me unhappy. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I'm unhappy, but it made me, thinking about that made me unhappy.
Yeah.
And it's just not productive to getting to that goal. Yeah. And I also think that what I really respect about you is when, first of all, you don't speak in a way that, I'd say when I speak sometimes it's too complicated. Like I use big words and I'm like...
You do, but that's not a bad thing.
Well, sometimes I'm like, why did I need that big word? I didn't need to use that big word. And I've noticed you a couple times go for, about to say a bigger word, but then go for the simpler word.
Yeah.
Because it's more easy to communicate. I'm like...
We speak literally completely the opposite of each other.
But I actually really respect that, because I think, why do I need to use these big words when there's a way simpler word to describe the exact same thing that is everyone is going to understand?
Yeah, but I think, I don't know, it's your character.
Yeah, it is part of my character, but I think I can use words that are still like something that I would like to say, but not as like complicated.
I think there's been multiple times where mostly you'll like say something like, what's that mean? Like you teach me words because of the big words you choose.
And that's another thing that I respect, because when you don't know something, you actually ask.
Oh yeah, always.
Some people when it comes back to fear, are too scared to ask something. They're too scared to show people they don't know.
That's actually one of my strengths, I reckon. Like I'm always like, we're literally here to learn on this earth. Yeah. So if I don't know something and I want to know it, I'm gonna be curious and ask. Yeah. If I don't care though, I'm like, Yeah. But if I care, I'll ask. And
I feel like I've seen you do that and taken a mental note of it, and I've started doing that. Like, when I met Teeks at his listening party, and they were saying some things that I didn't understand what it was, and I knew that a few of the other people in the room didn't know what that meant either. Okay. But nobody was saying anything. Yeah. So I was like, wait, I'm sorry guys, what does that mean? Yeah. And then they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, again, and I feel like I wouldn't have done that had I not been working with you.
Oh, I love that. And I just feel like, because you're right, there are people sitting there going, oh, I'm not going to ask. Yeah. But I'm so confused right now. And you sitting there and going, actually, what is that? It creates a connection with someone straight away. It literally creates no judgment, because someone getting asked something that they're passionate about, they're going to want to tell you, and they're not even going to think twice, oh, he didn't know that, that's weird.
Well, and if they did,
and if they did, then you don't want to be around them.
That is so, so I've taken mental notes of that this year, and actively being like, if I don't know something, I'm going to ask them, instead of pretending to like know the answer, and it's just not helpful at all. And not having, I guess, part of my identity tied to being the guy who knows the answer. I'd rather be the guy who doesn't necessarily know the answer all the time.
I feel like in my perception, that could even be a wrong word to use. You are the guy that knows everything. So I don't know if that's going to change. Yeah. Well, you have to work hard at that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like maybe that's a failure for me then, to not...
But you don't know everything. I'm not sitting here going, yeah, you know everything and you'll have the answer to everything. I just mean that you are a person that people can come and ask you for an opinion, at least, and you'll have an opinion.
Well, I'm glad that is something, but I think there's also that level of like, it's, I don't know, just not being okay with not knowing the way to go. I think that's...
But that's the thing. Like, if I really wanted to know something, what should I do with this, Joe? You even just saying like, oh, I'm not actually sure. Like, let's figure it out, kind of thing, is what I respect. Like, no one could, because some people would just be like, maybe try and make up a good sounding answer, but you wouldn't do that, kind of thing.
Okay, well, I'm glad at least I do that. But yeah, not knowing the answer, not being tied to that, and if someone, I feel like when someone disagrees with me, sometimes I can catch like myself being like getting annoyed. I'm like, why are they disagreeing with me? But I'm like, that I think that's also in the book I'm reading is more about when say you have like a recurring thought pattern or whatever, you identify with a negative trait, and then someone disagrees with that thing, and for you to agree, being like, yeah, that's right, I said the wrong thing, would mean that you're killing that thought pattern. And what the book's saying is the thought pattern is when that happens, when someone disagrees with essentially your ego's fighting to stay alive. Yeah. So if you can like be humble in the moment, you're killing that thought pattern. Wow. And that's why it feels so hard to like stomach being wrong. Yeah. Because the idea is that your ego is literally dying when someone disagrees with you and you actually realize that you're wrong. Yeah. And because when someone like even on a small thing, I'm like, what the heck? What do you mean you don't agree? Yeah. But then but now I realize I'm like, wow, my ego's just trying to fight to stay alive in this moment. Yeah. And it's just a moment where you can just be like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Not needing to be right or have the right answer. I feel like it's something that I'm really realizing. Because I think I agree with you in the sense that at least what your perception was is people come to advice and then I need to give them the right answer. And I think that's just happened throughout life. And I think my mum's the same. And I guess I've seen my mum do that. And I feel like that's kind of
it's just
imprinted onto me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily productive in terms of what my goals are. If I want peace and like, if I need to be right, it's not going to be peaceful. Yeah. So, but I'm glad that people can do that though.
No one expects people to know everything. Well, if they do, then that's a bit much.
Yeah.
That mic's gone red.
Does that mean it's off?
I don't know. I've never used it this long.
Okay, well, shit.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. I feel like we've talked about a lot of really interesting things.
We actually have. I also learned a lot. Like, I don't know, these conversations are like my favourite conversations to have. Being able to just like share opinions and feelings. And I actually just learned a lot.
Well, I learned a lot too. And I think when you're kind of giving me advice on something, or if I'm giving you advice on something, what I learned is that you're actually, when you give someone advice, you're actually advising yourself at the same time.
Yes.
I'm like,
that's why this teaching job, like working for Mum's company, has been so cool. Like a lot of the things that we've talked about, I kind of relate it back to that because that's been my job for like 5 years. And every time a student asks me something I don't know, I'm like, oh, let's find out together. Yeah. Or I don't know, just a lot of the times that I'm teaching up there, we talk about well-being and just how to be a good person, basically. And me talking about my experience, I like hear myself and go, whoa, that's cool that I've learnt that before. I've just said that to all them. I hope they take it on board as well. Yeah. Like I'm literally telling myself new things all the time.
Yeah, and I think as what I've read from this Roman guy is as long as what you're teaching is, there's two sides of the coin. When you're giving someone advice, you're helping someone who isn't yet in the same position as you. And at the same time, you're reaffirming what you've learned to yourself. Yeah. And like kind of consolidating that in the pursuit of what he says, like being like virtue, like the highest good. Mm-hmm. So as long as it's for that, then it's always good to teach no matter who you are. Yeah. Because even like if you feel like you're not qualified or whatever, it's just not helpful, because as long as you're helping someone and you'd actually do that and it's in the pursuit of being good, then you should always teach and you should never feel bad. But it's when you teach someone because I'm going to give this complicated lecture on this topic to look smart. It's like when you shouldn't be teaching. Or like, maybe, I guess, I'm not sure what he'd say. Maybe like gurus on the internet who are like selling courses or whatever that aren't really productive.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I don't think that gurus selling courses are bad. I just think there's a lot of people who have sold courses that aren't productive.
Yeah. Well, that's like one of the biggest scams, to be honest.
Yeah, well, because mentorship's been around forever.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of becoming new in the music space. But for some reason in the music space, it's really frowned upon. But I think because we're so used to a lot of courses turning out, or mentorships turning out to be scams, that people are just really cautious now. But it's like you go to the gym and you get a coach and no one blinks their eyes.
Yeah.
Like, and they could be kind of experienced or not experienced.
Yeah.
But if it's in the music space, it's all like, oh, who's this person?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's mainly just because people have messed it up, like in teaching in the pursuit of the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like for like looking good and like.
That's, I think, why people get annoyed at it in the music industry. But if you're doing it for the right intent, like,
Yeah.
then there's not really anything bad about it.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this mic is dead. I'm not sure, but in case it isn't, is it dead?
Less than 10% battery remaining.
Oh, okay.
On what?
Maybe on this mic.
Is that? Oh my gosh! I thought it just said it was going for 3 hours. No.
No.
It's been going an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh! I was like,
Yeah.
no way! We spoke
We
for
spoke
3 hours.
Well, yeah. Well, anyway, I think I want to conclude.
Yeah.
I want to end this by saying that I really respect your drive as an artist. I think you're a really good person.
Aw.
And I think you make really good music, and you've got a good message, and I think you demonstrate really good examples for people of not being afraid to post and not being afraid to look stupid or whatever. And I think that's really good, and you should, no matter who you work with and no matter what you do, you should always do these things.
I really appreciate that. Working with you has been like such an eye-opener for I think a lot of what I've learnt this year is because of you, so
Oh, thank you.
yeah, I appreciate it.
And vice versa. I have actively been in situations and I've been like, I don't think I would have done had I not worked with you.
That's so cool. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, I'm like, so
That's
it's
really
a two-way
nice.
street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Well,
that.
I feel like we'll do another one in the future.
Yeah.
So.
When we have different ideas and
Yeah,
opinions about everything
we'll have
we've
so
talked
many
about.
different things to talk
Yeah.
about every time. I don't think it's just a conversation between two friends, and
Yeah.
there'll be so many different reflections by the time we have the next one.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh, cool.
And I'm looking forward to the gig, and I have been practicing.
Oh yeah.
I've
It's
been actually
going.
DJing and stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I remember how fun this is, but we'll see how I go.
I'm excited.
On the night, because I've been DJing while me and Lily make dinner.
Yeah.
And she's been like, because she likes it, so
Yeah.
and it's just kind of a
I'm
bit
excited.
of fun.
You could literally do the shittest job and everyone will still
Yeah,
be
and
like,
that's it. I'm like,
Yeah.
just don't take it so seriously.
Yeah.
And like,
don't take it serious.
Yeah.
If
I've done so many of these opening sets.
oh yeah.
Where I'm just like they're fun when I don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm just playing
Maybe
music.
that's the motto of today's discussion.
Definitely.
Don't take it serious.
All right.
Take it a little bit serious. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Handshake.
Yeah, I was going for a
I was
dab
going
up
for a high
actually.
five. Oh, that was great.
That was great.